said, but now we lost Darwin today, how he should do it, how he should behave.
Breaking news, Darwin Nunez is arguably the most disrespected baller in the world right now. His numbers have been on the up in his second season at Liverpool, but still Nunez gets hated every week. And the question now is, why Nunez is bagging all this disrespect? Nunez's journey to the top was full of hard work. He was born in Artigas, Uruguay in 1999, and his parents were from really humble backgrounds and struggled to get by. The plan for Nunez was different because the family had plans for his older brother Junior to go pro. But after Junior suffered a knee injury that would keep him out for a long time, it was Darwin's turn in the spotlight. Nunez trained in the academies of La Luz and San Miguel de Artigas, but he put in the hard work too. His never-give-up attitude was always on display, and at the age of 14, local scouts had heard of him, seen him play, and were convinced he'd be the perfect fit for Penarol. So they signed him to the academy, but barely a few months in, and Darwin was homesick. This was the first time he'd been away from his family and people he knew for that long. And it was affecting him, so in the end he quit the team and went back home. But as soon as he got to that door, there was one person waiting to give him the motivation he'd need to get back into the game. His brother Junior. Junior didn't let Darwin quit, and a few days later Darwin was back in Penarol, and this time he looked like a goal machine that would soon be ready to explode. But just as he was getting better, boom, he'd injured his knee pretty badly, and this injury was all set to keep him out for over a year and 2 months. I can't even lie, an injury like this would have been enough to make a guy like me quit the game and any dreams of going pro. But now Nunez wasn't doing it for himself alone. He now had his bro and family looking up to him, so he put in the energy to get his comeback, and pretty soon, the hard work paid off, because he was off to Europe. Almeria was fighting to get back into La Liga, and seeing the profile of Darwin, they thought he'd be the perfect addition to their squad. So they splashed $18 million on him to make him the club's latest striking option, and Nunez got off to a crazy start. In his first season at Almeria, he hit the ground running. 16 goals and 2 assists in 30 games that season, and this to the fact that he'd also sustained injuries and kept him out of a couple of games that season. And the goals could have been more. I'm pretty sure the plan must have been for Almeria to keep him for at least a couple more seasons and watch him grow. But even as the raw talent that he was, Benfica had seen enough to know that he was their man. His attributes ticked all the boxes they were after, and so they set out with a bid on Nunez to make history. After copping him for $34 million, Nunez had now become Benfica club record signing and the most expensive player to move out of the Spanish second division. Benfica paid all the money for what they believed would be a major talent, but the first years in Portugal for Nunez came with the same problems from years back: injuries. A knee injury kept him out and made him miss over 12 games for the club. Ouch. When he did return, he still had other injury problems to deal with. A hamstring injury, caught COVID, and a knock too. Ultimately, the injury stopped him from making the Uruguay squad for the Copa America Championships that summer, and for Darwin, he knew that pressure was on him. Again, he'd been in this position before, and now it was all about making 2021-22 count. Electric, that's the word. If Nunez failed to the season before, in 2021-22 he overachieved. 34 goals in all competitions, and some pretty slick skill moves too. Okay, maybe I did lie about the sleek part, but you get the idea. He was on fire. Nunez won the Portuguese Premier League title with Benfica and even finished as the top scorer too. Golden Boot in the bag, 6 Champions League goals that season, and even getting nominated for the Ballon d'Or, or Nunez was hot property and was about to start a bidding war between the Northwest rivals. Manchester United had profiled Nunez as the type of striker they'd need heading into the new season, but they weren't alone. Liverpool also wanted reinforcements after Sadio Mane and Divock Origi left, and the race was on. In the end, Benfica slammed a price tag of $105 million on Nunez, and United figured this one would be too much for them, but for Liverpool they were determined to pay any amount just to get their man. Darwin was ready to hit the big time. To the fans, he was going to be as exciting as he could get. See, apart from scoring goals, Nunez brings a lot to the table too. Part of the reason Liverpool wanted him that bad was because of what he'd done to them the season before. He could play down the middle or out wide in attack. At 6'2", he had an amazing physique, was rapidly fast, and most important for Jurgen Klopp and the fans, he had subscribed to footballers too. Nunez was the ideal signing for Klopp, and he was going to make Liverpool stronger. I mean, in that team, there's no way he won't be scoring tons of goals, right? Looking back at it now, his first preseason kinda gave the fans a pre-taste of what to expect, After missing the sitter against United, he went on to bag 4 goals against RB Leipzig, and in the Community Shield scored the goal to seal the win against City. Honestly, at this point, I legit thought that we were going to be in for a Nunez versus Haaland showdown in the league, but it never really happened, and there are reasons for that. The truth is, the expectations surrounding Nunez in his first season ultimately never allowed him to develop. Every game he played was like him trying to repay his price tag, and it ultimately led to the pressure being way too much on him. After bagging on his debut, a goal and an assist, the Captain Chaos memes came out in full flow. A red card versus Crystal Palace meant he missed the next 3 games on the spin for Liverpool, and by the time he returned, well, he couldn't string his performances together. Ultimately, his first season left a lot to be desired. I mean, 15 goals and 4 assists in 42 games for a newbie at Liverpool isn't quite bad. And he did manage to bag some stunners too, like this one against Real Madrid. But when you look, Nunez was in one word, drama. It's 2023-24 now, and honestly, Nunez has actually improved in some areas of his game. Now don't get me wrong, his finishing is still, yeah, that. But the truth is, his decision-making is way better now than it originally was. He's played 53 games this season for the Reds, but over half of them have been off the bench. He's still struggling with injuries and keeping his form and place in the team. Thanks to how versatile he is, Jurgen Klopp has also experimented a lot with Nunez this season. It's becoming common to see him start the game out wide and up down the middle, or vice versa. And in terms of the numbers, they're up a bit. 18 goals and 13 assists says a lot. The kid is a work in progress. It's quite easy to forget he's only still 24, and the teams he's played for in the past weren't exactly world-class teams he developed at. He had that one amazing season at Benfica and got sold to Liverpool for $105 million. It all happened to him so fast. If there's one thing Nunez has been good at this season, it's coming clutch for the Reds. He scored in games when they needed him. Just ask Newcastle. Off the bench to score a brace, or Nottingham Forest. A winner in the 99th minute, but again, that's one side of the story. The other half has to do with the ones he's missed. And trust me, they're a lot. In the league, Nunez has 11 goals this season, but also in the league, he's missed 26 big chances too. That says a lot. Now, it would be unfair to blame Liverpool's late title collapse on Nunez alone. I mean, in a collective effort, and other players in the team also missed chances too, but as the main man up top and with a price tag like that, everything he does gets magnified. Jurgen Klopp has come out on multiple occasions to defend Nunez too, saying he's a kid with lots of potential and only needs time. But again, he's playing for one of the biggest clubs, not just in England, but the entire world. I'm not sure he'd get the time to develop that he needs there, especially when rival clubs have got goal machines sticking them in every week. He's currently on a 7-game goalless run in all competitions, but again, it's easy to judge him based on the goals. For the team though, he does a lot more. His 8 league assists have him in the team's 97th percentile for expected assists. He's also got an eye for a pass too, which shows he doesn't necessarily have to be on the end of one before the team scores with 1.47 key passes per 90. Again guys, it's easy to see why Nunez gets all the hate. His price tag is one thing, and the hype fans have around him doesn't help too. But like he's shown in the past, he's a work in progress, and if he can be given time to develop and improve his finishing, just like Luis Suarez said, he could be one of the best in the world. I mean, I've got faith in the guy. He's subscribed to Footballers.